This is National Native News. I'm Antonia Gonzalez. The Indian Health Service hosted a media call Thursday to provide updates on the agency's COVID-19 response effort. IHS Chief Medical Officer Rear Admiral Michael Todt says the agency has distributed more than $1 billion in CARES Act funding across the IHS system. He says they've expanded testing to more than 300 sites and are expanding telehealth. As of Tuesday, the IHS had tested more than 31,000 people at its 12 service regions across the country, with more than 3,000 positive results. The Navajo IHS area has the largest number of positive cases. Dr. Loretta Christensen, Chief Medical Officer of the Navajo area IHS, says they're working around the clock to address COVID-19. Dr. Christensen says it first hit the Kayenta, Chinle, Arizona area and in the last 2 to 3 weeks has heavily impacted the Shiprock, Gallup, New Mexico area as they expect to see a surge in May.
We are beginning our surge both in Chinle and northern Navajo have had rapidly increasing numbers. So those are both were as predicted. We anticipate the other areas within the next week or so will see also a significant increase in cases. And then in Gallup Indian Medical Center, we saw a sudden large jump due to some of the unsheltered population being exposed in a congregate situation. So we had a lot of positive cases from that one event.
The Navajo Nation reported its positive numbers reached 2,141 as of Thursday, as the tribe prepares to go into a reservation-wide 57-hour weekend curfew. 2 Wisconsin tribes have come out in support of the state's extension of a stay-at-home order and its plan for reopening during the coronavirus pandemic. The Menominee and Stockbridge-Munsee tribes in a statement Thursday said they'll follow the state's phased approach to reopening. Joan Delabrew is the chairperson of the governing body for the Menominee tribe. Speaking prior to the announcement, she said the tribe has followed the governor's orders.
There are probably some other things that we did that probably expanded the scope of what, he did with his executive orders.
Wisconsin's governor says the state needs to see a 14-day decrease in new COVID-19 positive tests before allowing restaurants, schools, and child care centers to reopen. South Dakota's Red Ribbon Skirt Society will host an online event Friday in preparation for next week's Day of Awareness of Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. China Lockett has more.
For the past few years, an annual memorial walk has commemorated the high number of Indigenous women, children, and Two-Spirit, or LGBT people, who experience violence, are missing, or are murdered. Lily Mendoza runs the Red Ribbon Skirt Society.
It's still a major issue, and it's something that we can't forget. I think we all are wrapped up in this pandemic, of course, which we need to be and be aware of what's going on. And I just don't want us to kind of forget this epidemic as well.
Mendoza offers ways for people to remember and honor victims at home.
Building a prayer altar in their homes, putting together a flower garden, maybe hanging out a red dress, maybe share a meal that day in memory of a missing and murdered Indigenous girl or woman.
The group is partnering with a youth leadership program from the Division of Indian Work in Minneapolis. Mendoza says there are plans to expand the Rapid City-based society.
We hope to put that in place and encourage other organizations that work with young women to begin to organize those Red Ribbon Skirt Societies.
The meeting is open to the public on a video chat platform, which allows up to 100 people to join. I'm China Lockett in Rapid City.
And I'm Antonia Gonzalez.
National Native News is produced by Koahnic Broadcast Corporation with funding by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Support by the American Indian Higher Education Consortium, working to ensure tribal colleges and universities are included in our higher education system. Info on 37 tribal colleges and universities at aihec.org. For Native Americans affected by domestic violence, the Strong Hearts Native Helpline offers peer-to-peer support and resources. It's safe, confidential, and toll-free at 844-7-NATIVE. Program support by the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.